It's going to look really stupid. And more importantly, it's going to get prosecuted. Because the thing with use of force is, it's all or nothing. You are either entitled to use force, in which case you're completely in the clear, or you weren't, in which case it is murder. There is no halfway house. There's no, well, actually, you made a mistake, so we'll call it manslaughter, but you were acting with the best of intentions. It's all or nothing. And basically, Secret Service people, you know, understandably, don't want to go to prison for murder. So we can look at all the...
Yeah, my biggest question 9 days after the Trump assassination attempt is Secret Service counter-snipers clearly seem to have crooks in their sights prior to crooks shooting at Trump. Why did the Secret Service deliberately allow crooks to get off about 8 shots at Donald Trump before they then deigned to take him out? Why did they take him out when they saw he had a rifle on the roof?
Inadequacies in the preparation and, you know, how, and the procedures and what went wrong and what lessons can be learned. But fundamentally, and now we're hearing that, you know, as to who actually neutralised the chap, it seems that, you know, there may have been other people involved. But really, the reason they were waiting is they needed to make sure that person was a threat. And I know it sounds awful, but the safest way to ensure somebody is a threat is, you know, when they start shooting themselves. So there you go. As always, hope you found that vaguely useful, vaguely interesting, vaguely accurate.
All right, here's Heather McDonald.
And they had a negative disparate impact on women. How many women are 6'2"? And so anything that
is that there were a lot of women who did not match the size and stature of Donald Trump around him.
The idea that explains about everything in our world today, Jen, is disparate impact. And that applies especially in race, but it also applies with sex matters. Mm-hmm. And I assume that the Secret Service used to have certain height requirements, and they had a negative disparate impact on women. How many women are 6'2"? And so anything that kept out achieving some kind of, or moving towards some kind of ridiculous, unnecessary, irrelevant gender parity would have been thrown out. I disagree with you. I do not think women should be in any kind of first responder roles. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. My self-identity or sense of accomplishment, which is not high, is not dependent on seeing quotas of females in the rest of the society. And I don't need a female role model. I think people should choose role models based on the accomplishment of scientists, of leaders. And if I were a physicist, I wouldn't need a female role model physicist. I would choose Einstein. So I don't, you know, the sight of those ridiculous females around Donald Trump with their breasts and their fat, you know, rolls around the waist, it's preposterous. We don't know. Now, maybe most of the threats are going to be gunshots, but if they ever need to take somebody down, a female is not going to be able to do that. It's the same thing in policing, and it's the same thing in firefighting, and it is sure as hell the same thing in combat units. And I don't know the tactical decisions that were made about the perimeter, you know, whether affirmative action, racial preferences, sexual preferences.